Hey YouTube, so in this video I wanted to cover quickly what do you do if you lose a W-2 or some other type of tax form when you need to prep your taxes, right? So if you work for an employer, Form W-2 is issued to you every year during January, and that reports your income, the taxes that were withheld from your paycheck, maybe some retirement contributions. This is all information that's going to be necessary to complete your Form 1040. So a lot of individuals, they recall getting this in the mail, or maybe it was emailed to them and then they lost it, right? So what do you do now? Well, you have a couple of options here. The top one on the list here, call your employer and ask for another copy. This is obvious, but this is usually the easiest way to get it, right? So if you're still working there, obviously it shouldn't be an issue. Just call your HR department, ask for another copy. They can give it to you. If it's a former employer that maybe don't have a good working relationship with anymore, and you're trying to avoid them, or maybe they went out of business, you can still try to get in touch with them if you want, but if you'd rather avoid that interaction altogether, then maybe just leave it alone. So if you do, if you tried those options, that doesn't work. The other options you have, I have down here on the second point, if you use a tax preparer in a previous year, they might have a copy of the W-2 you provided. This is a little different, right? I mean, if you're trying to find a W-2 from a prior year, and you can't get a copy of it, maybe your prior year tax preparer will have it. But in this kind of fact pattern, we're under the assumption that this is a tax return that you haven't filed yet. So it's the current period, and you need to do your taxes, and you're missing the W-2. Obviously, in that case, you wouldn't be able to have a prior year preparer because you're talking about the current period. So that is an option if you're looking for an older year, but let's move back to what do you do in the current year? Well, the other option you can have here is you can contact the IRS and get a wage and income transcript. Okay, so how does this work? Well, the employer and all other kind of withholding agents, they give you copies of these W-2s, 1099s, etc. every year. But they also have to send a copy to the IRS. And so the IRS logs that data into their system, and then they use that as kind of a match against what you eventually file. So the one nice thing about that is because the IRS is getting a copy of it, you can reach out to them and get a copy of whatever data was reported. So the wage and income transcript is going to show all data received by third parties. So this is your employer, maybe your broker, right? Your stockbroker will issue you some sort of 1099, 1099 div or 1099 INT for interest, things like that. So they'll have all those kind of reports. 1098s for mortgage interest, 5498s for retirement contributions. The IRS is going to have all of this data that'll spit out on a wage and income transcript. So that's what you need to ask for. So how do you get it? For individuals, you can use the online portal. So if you go to irs.gov/individuals/get transcript, they will have a portal there where you can input your information and try to get a copy of that information online. Or you can request for the data by mail. So IRS Form 4506-T, this is the paper filing to request account transcripts or wage and income transcripts. So you can fill that out and mail it to the IRS. Or you can hire a tax professional to get the data for you. So if you hire a tax professional, most tax professionals have online accounts with the IRS. And so if you have an online account with the IRS and you have a power of attorney on file for a client, you can log in and down that data for the client, right? So if you hire a tax attorney or a CPA or an EA, give them the 2848, they can send that in and they can log in and download the data for you. So that's how I would go about getting old copies or lost copies of W-2s. You can see you got a couple options there. So yeah, that covers it. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Thank you.